It's something I've found with horses and donkeys that have had difficulties or trauma in their past with trimming, getting their hooves trimmed, lifting their hooves, being touched on their legs and their hooves. And even though we can rehabilitate them and train them with positive reinforcement to lift their feet up willingly, they can go backwards a little bit quite easily in the early stages, early years, where things might happen such as hoof problems, abscesses, bad thrush, injuries, where we perhaps have to do things that might hurt them. We might ask for more duration or need to do more things than perhaps they're comfortable with. There might be vets or farriers or trimmers doing things and holding on longer than they would like, or even ignoring the horse or donkey when they're asking for their foot back because something needs to be done for their health, for their care, that can't be ignored. And what usually happens is that the behaviour can go backwards. The cues can be poisoned, where they start to have a bit of an aversive quality rather than predicting good things every time. So what I generally do is reshape it a little bit, go back a few steps, lower my expectations, my criteria, and be more generous with my reinforcement. And counter conditioning is also happening at the same time, because as you're watching the video, even if he doesn't lift it or it's a minimal effort, I'm still going to give him food. And there can be the concern that you're reinforcing those small leg cocks and not actually a proper lift, even though you know they've done a proper lift in the past, because I'm leaning more on the counter conditioning side in changing how they feel and undoing some of the recent prior unpleasant experiences, as I said, with vets or trimmers or yourself having to hold the foot up longer than they would like, do things that they don't like, wrapping, poulticing, things like that they might find a bit worrying or uncomfortable. So we want to change how they feel about it a little bit as well. It's not just about the behaviour of lifting it, it's how they feel about it and about you and people touching their legs and their feet. First thing I do with him is brush him, throw food in the bucket, brush, throw food in the bucket, give him a braid. Then I come back and put his halter on, which is a good way to see how he's feeling about things and training. It's very windy. That was a really good rib, just wind. It was not so good for him. You can see the way he's standing too. He's not 100% comfortable. Usually he'd stand very square with his back leg cocked. Oh, something's going on. And he'll give me a start button to tell me when he's ready, which is his head nod. There it is, beautiful. And I really want to see them put their head in it, actively put it in. Not that I'm putting it on them,
is how I'm checking how he's feeling. And if I just put it on him, I don't know how he's feeling. And yes, it's time consuming, but this is a donkey I've rehabilitated from not being able to catch. People couldn't do anything with him. So you sort of got to take the time. Donkeys take years to overcome past experiences. You can teach behaviours quickly, but how they feel about it takes a lot longer. And of course, he's come a really long way. And I really like the way he actually leaned into the halter as I was putting it on him. He put weight in it, and I like that. It's better than them feeling really light, like they're going to change their mind and pull out of it, or they're not sure about it. That, like, to me, that says, if I wanted to mind read, that he's feeling really happy about it. I just moved the camera so you can see better, because I'm going to revisit with Seymour. Sometimes I have to change his boots and clean them quickly while he's eating his dinner, or in a bit of a rush, so I don't always take the time that he needs, and that can lose the hoof lift. So especially before he's due to be trimmed, I like to just revisit and reshape it a little bit. Make sure he's feeling better about it, building the reinforcement history. Because today I'm going to take off his boots and clean them and put them back on with a clean nappy inside, keep them dry. That's a perfect example of where he just gave me a little bit, and I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. I'll mark that and I'll feed him for that. Because doing that is where you rebuild the behaviour, if it needs rebuilding. Clearly it does, because he didn't lift it. He only tilted his foot. So my cue, if you saw it, is a little rub on the shoulder, and then very lightly run the hand down and hover, gently touching the hair, and wait. So I might wait a bit longer and see if he offers more. If he didn't, that's okay. He's looking pretty cranky. Just filming and talking changes the context for him. Good feel, Dorothy. To speed things up, you might try hand feeding and doing a few quick reps. A little bit more there. He looks very cranky. He looks very cranky, I'm not sure why. Okay, lifted it. I helped you out a little bit. Uncracked your back leg. Good boy, Sim. Good boy. All right. Oh, that was really good. Good. So I won't ask for too much. It's all right, boy. Oh, what's that thing? Maybe? So he doesn't normally sort of put his foot forward like that. So there is something going on with him. And it could just be the filming and me talking. So I give him a little micro break. So I'm just putting food in a bucket. He's walking in the breeze. And he's taking his time with the food in the bucket. Oh, I missed the start button. So I'll just ask again. Good. Oh. So there I caught the hook a little when he was going to put it down, but he didn't object. And I'm happy with that. I'm going to give him a break now. The wind's died for a minute, which is good. So I've taken Seymour's boots off, checked his feet, cleaned them, put a fresh nappy on, cleaned the boots, put them back on. So there's a lot of fiddling there that can potentially poison the hoof lids or the duration of the hoof lid. The nappy flaps in the wind and concerns him a little bit, which is something that's quite hard to desensitise him to. So now I'm going to revisit the hoof lids, voluntary hoof lids, just to leave him feeling a little bit better about it. Sometimes I just do random touches to kind of just warm him up. And I'm feeding in the bucket, which takes a lot longer, but he actually prefers that because I've been doing a lot of that. With the boot changes, I tend to just throw a lot of food in the bucket while I'm fiddling around. Good. That was a beautiful one. Good boy. So I give him a bit bigger handful of food. So even the amount of food, the way you deliver the food, either in your hand, in a bucket, the location, all of those things is feedback to the animal about their behaviour. Oh, just a moment. Sorry. And he anticipated there, which is fantastic. Another big handful. He's eating them pretty quick though. Dorothy. Oh. Good. And then I'll do the same, obviously, on the other foot, which I might do and you'll still be able to see, I think. And one thing I do with back feet now with Seymour is I do a couple of lifting reps in a row, and then I tend to just throw a big handful of food in, cue him to lift it, he lifts it, I can clean it, spray it, have it up for extended duration because he's eating out of the bucket. But it is something you have to train first. Dorothy.